hosting a series of videos highlighting an employee in each department that has had an interesting and/or progressive career path within the city of Boynton Beach. Today we are featuring Linda McKinon. And Linda, could you tell the public your title and the department from which you work?
I'm a recreation specialist. I work for the recreation department with the Carolyn Sim Center.
Wonderful. And how long have you worked for the city of Boynton Beach?
22 years.
Wow.
Oh, well, that's an interesting for the public to know. When you first came to the city of Boynton Beach, what was your first job? And I'm not going to ask anything about age or anything, but when you first came, were you still at that center and doing the same job, or was it a different job and you?
I had the same title, which is recreation specialist. I was actually at the Ezel Hester Community Center, doing what I do now, organizing and constructing programs and activities for people of all ages.
Excellent. So can you tell the public some of the programs and activities that you do in the recreation department?
Well, I run the on-site learning at this point. We have on-site learning at the Carolyn Sim Center. And we're getting ready for our Breakfast with Santa, which is on December the 12th. So please come out. And I'm preparing for our holiday break camp that's coming up also.
And you had some very successful summer camps there this summer, even through the COVID. Can you explain to the public a little bit about how you had the safeguards of COVID and checking in and out? And
Oh, our staff was really on top of things. For instance, to start our day out was the parents would drive through. We would test the kid while they're in the car, write their temperature down, parents sign them out, and they would have on their mask. And at the point in which they're about to enter the facility, they had to put on hand sanitizer. And at that point, staff escorted them to their designated area. And throughout the day, when they had to use the restroom, we thoroughly cleaned the restrooms after each student used the restroom. And when they had activities outside, when they would go outside, staff would sanitize the desks, chairs, the whole room while they're outside. So inside, outside, we're just sanitizing doorknobs, door handles, you name it. We were on top of it.
you really were. That was a great camp. And what are the dates of the upcoming one?
For the holiday break camp,
Yes.
the 28th through the 31st, December.
So much fun. Can I go?
Yes,
I like that yes question.
definitely.
Before you came to Boynton Beach, what did you do? Or were you right out of school, or kind of how did you land here in Boynton Beach? Grow up here? Or?
Well, to start out, as far as my experience getting into recreation, when I was a junior in high school, during the summer, I became a summer camp counselor. So once I went off to college, and every time I would come home for the summer, I would be a summer camp counselor for the city of Riviera Beach. I worked for the city for 10 years. After I graduated, I graduated from Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina. I went there on a 4-year basketball scholarship, and I graduated with a BS degree. So just from when I was a junior in high school, it started off from there. I had a passion for working with children from there. And how I ended up with the city was, with the city of Riviera Beach, we had an unlimited weight football league, whereas to which back then, only Riviera Beach and Miami had such a league. So a lot of the kids from different areas would come and register for our program in general. My boss and I, while we were out walking throughout the crowd to see the spectators and to take care of different tasks, I hear this young lady say, "Go, get him, get him, get him, don't let him go, get him." So I look around, I'm like, who in the world is that? And I look, and so I walked up to the young lady, and then I said, "Well, how are you?" And I introduced myself, and she said, "I'm doing fine." I said, "Well, which which one is yours out there? So she said, well, no, it's my grandson. I'm out here for my grandson. And it's like every time a game came around, I looked for this individual, and the individual's name was Carolyn Sims. So I met Carolyn Sims by way of the league and just going out there and mingling with the crowd. And she just blew my mind with all the cheering she was doing. So after a few years, just scrolling through the job search ads, I run across Boynton Beach Recreation Department. They had an open position for the recreation specialist, whereas to which for the city of Riviera Beach, I was a rec leader at the time. So I was open for bigger and better things. So I thought about it carefully because I had been there for 10 years, but I had to step out on faith. And due to that, I applied, and guess who was interviewing me? Carolyn Sims and Steve Loken. So I just feel as if I was destined to be there, and it was such a privilege working up under her in general. So that's how I ended up with the city of Boynton Beach.
It's so interesting because I worked here during the summer camps, so this teaches the public the opportunity that you can have when you do summer employment with the public sector.
Yes.
So I worked at the city of Boynton Beach as the art counselor every summer, and then when I graduated from graduate school, the art center was being renovated and built out of the old library, and I'm like, right away, do you want the job? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's important for students to know that when they're here at summer time, to go ahead and look at the job opportunities that city and municipalities have for camps.
Definitely.
That it too can take you down the path of what Linda and I have been, and I loved Carolyn Sims and worked with her too. So
There's nothing like
So glad.
having hands-on experience after you graduate to be able to land in one of those spots.
it really is. So for the public, what's a typical day look like for you? When you come in, what do you do, and just
Well,
what's a typical day?
I'm going, like, for right now, we're doing on-site learning. So when I come in, I'm basically opening up the building, preparing breakfast, and getting prepared to open the doors. Once opening the doors, such as I mentioned before, you know, the parents drive up, we take their temperatures, and we sanitize, and I'm actually inside the classroom with a group of children, so I'm hands-on all day with the kids also, monitoring them, making sure that they're doing their right assignments and staying on task. So with me, I just really, really, really love working with children. I really do.
That's awesome. That's your favorite part of the job then, if I was to ask you that question?
That is my favorite part of the job, working with children and just being able to see them grow up and prosper. Just to see someone walk through the door and say, hey, Miss Linda, and they've graduated from college and they're being successful in their lives.
That's wonderful, Linda. You've really had an impact on the children in our community, and we thank you so much.
You're welcome.